Imagine asking someone to solve a complex math problem. Would you trust an answer that just appears instantly? Or would you prefer to see their work? Direct answers are fast but risky. Showing step-by-step work reveals the reasoning and catches errors. This is chain of thought prompting. But here's the catch. Chain of thought isn't always better. It has hidden costs and isn't right for every task. Today we'll learn when to use it and when to avoid it. Chain of thought prompting means asking the AI to break down its reasoning into explicit steps before giving a final answer. Think of it like a detective solving a case. They don't just announce who did it. They gather clue 1, analyze clue 2, connect clue 3, then reveal the answer with evidence. The key word is chain. Each step connects to the next, forming a logical path from question to answer. The structure is simple. State the problem, show each reasoning step in sequence, then conclude with the final answer. Each step builds on the previous. To understand why chain of thought is powerful, we need to peek inside how language models actually generate text. Without chain of thought, the model jumps straight to an answer. It thinks, answer, then 12. But wait, 15% of 80 is actually 12. So this is correct by luck. With chain of thought, the model generates intermediate steps. First, 15% equals 0.15. Then, 0.15 times 80 equals 12. Each token helps compute the next. Here's the key. Each intermediate token gives the model more thinking space. It's like showing your work in math class. The process helps reach the right answer. Think of chain of thought as giving the AI a scratchpad. Without it, the AI must solve everything in its head. With it, the AI can write down intermediate calculations and use them to reach the answer. Let's visualize what happens in the neural network when we use chain of thought versus when we don't. With direct prompting, only a few neural pathways activate. The model uses limited computation to jump to an answer. With chain of thought, many more pathways activate in sequence. Each reasoning step engages different parts of the network, allowing deeper and more accurate computation. This is why chain of thought improves reasoning on complex tasks. More computation means better results. But it also means higher cost. Let's see this in action. We'll give ChatGPT a multi-step reasoning problem without asking for step-by-step thinking. Here's the problem. A store has a sale. All items are 25% off. You buy a jacket originally priced at $80 and a shirt at $30. You have a $10 coupon. What's your total? Notice how ChatGPT might jump to an answer without showing work. Sometimes it's right. Sometimes it makes calculation errors. The answer appears but we can't verify the reasoning. The answer just appears. We don't know how it calculated this. Is it right? We'd have to verify manually. Now let's try the exact same problem. But this time we'll explicitly ask ChatGPT to think step by step. We add one simple phrase. Let's think step by step. This triggers chain of thought reasoning. Watch what happens. Now ChatGPT breaks down the problem. First, calculate the discount on each item. Then, add the discounted prices. Finally, Apply the coupon. Each step is visible and verifiable. Compare the outputs. Without chain of thought, just an answer, no verification. With chain of thought, every calculation is visible. We can check each step and trust the final answer. You don't need complex prompts to trigger chain of thought. A few magic phrases do the trick. The most powerful phrase is, "Let's think step by step." This single sentence can dramatically improve reasoning accuracy. Other effective phrases include, "Let's work through this carefully." "Let's break this down." Or use sequential markers like first, then, finally. Pro tip. Combine chain of thought with few short examples. Show the AI 2 or 3 problems solved step by step. Then ask it to solve a new one. This is extremely powerful. Chain of thought shines in specific scenarios. Let's identify them. Use chain of thought for math and calculations, especially word problems requiring multiple steps. Logical reasoning tasks like deductions or cause and effect analysis. Multi-criteria decisions where you are comparing options with several factors. And complex analysis that requires breaking down complicated scenarios. Golden rule. Use chain of thought when intermediate steps add value. If showing the work helps reach the right answer, use it. If the answer is straightforward, skip it. This is crucial. Chain of thought isn't always beneficial. In fact, it can hurt performance in certain situations. Avoid chain of thought for simple factual queries where the answer is direct. The capital of France? Just say Paris. Don't explain why. Creative writing where step-by-step thinking interrupts flow and kills creativity. Pattern recognition tasks like classification, where the model already knows the pattern instantly. And time-sensitive tasks where you need quick answers, because chain of thought is slower and more expensive. Critical warning. Chain of thought can introduce hallucinated reasoning. The AI might generate steps that sound logical but are actually wrong. This is especially dangerous because the detailed reasoning makes it seem trustworthy. Chain of thought seems like free improvement, but it has real costs. Let's make them visible. Cost 1. Token bloat. A simple answer might be 10 tokens. With chain of thought, it balloons to 150 tokens. That's 15 times more, if you're paying per token. This adds up fast. Do the math. 1000 queries per day times 140 extra tokens equals 140,000 tokens per day. At typical API pricing, that's over $500 per year in unnecessary costs. Cost 2. Response latency. More tokens means slower generation. A direct answer might take 1.2 seconds. Chain of thought can take 4.8 seconds. 4 times slower. Your users notice. Cost 3. Context window waste. Every chain of thought response eats up valuable context space. In multi-turn conversations, this limits how much history you can maintain. A 10-turn conversation without chain of thought uses 2000 tokens. With it, 8000. You'll hit context limits much faster. The takeaway. Use chain of thought strategically. Not by default. Reserve it for tasks where the reasoning steps genuinely improve accuracy. Sometimes you can get chain of thought benefits without the cost. Here are smarter alternatives. Alternative 1. Self-consistency. Instead of one chain of thought response, Generate 3 or 4 quick answers without showing work. Pick the most common. This catches errors through majority voting, often faster than full chain of thought. Alternative 2. Structured output. Use JSON schema to enforce concise reasoning. You get brief justification without verbose step-by-step text. The answer, quick reasoning, and confidence level, much more efficient. Alternative 3. Post hoc verification. Get a quick answer first, check the confidence. If it's low, then ask for chain of thought explanation. This way you only pay the cost when necessary. Let's cover the most common mistakes people make with chain of thought, and how to avoid them. Mistake 1. Using chain of thought for everything. Don't add, let's think step by step, to simple queries like, what color is the sky? This wastes tokens on obvious answers. Reserve chain of thought for complex reasoning only. Mistake 2. Trusting steps blindly. Chain of thought can hallucinate plausible sounding but wrong reasoning. Like saying 2 plus 2 equals 5. Then building on that error. Always validate each step, especially critical ones. Mistake 3. Ignoring the cost. Don't blindly add chain of thought without measuring. Some teams see API bills jump 300% without proportional accuracy gains. Always A/B test. Measure accuracy versus cost. Use chain of thought selectively based on return on investment. Here's a simple decision flowchart to help you decide when to use chain of thought prompting. Start with your task. Does it require multi-step reasoning? If no, skip chain of thought entirely. If yes, is accuracy critical? If not critical, try faster alternatives like self-consistency. If critical, can you afford 3 to 5 times the token cost? If no, use post hoc verification. If yes, use full chain of thought. Key takeaways. Chain of thought improves reasoning by showing intermediate steps. Use it for math, logic, and complex analysis. Avoid it for simple tasks. Remember the costs: 3 to 5 times more tokens, slower responses, and context usage. Try alternatives like self-consistency or structured output. And always validate steps, because chain of thought can hallucinate plausible but wrong reasoning. Here's your practice challenge. Compare chain of thought versus direct prompting. Pick a reasoning task. Try it both ways. Measure tokens and accuracy. Calculate the cost-benefit trade-off. Then decide, was chain of thought worth it? This hands-on comparison will teach you more than any video. Coming next, prompt templates and frameworks. We'll cover reusable prompt structures for common tasks like RAG, agents, classification, and more. These templates will save you hours of trial and error. Master chain of thought to unlock powerful reasoning. But use it wisely. Know when it helps and when it hurts. See you in the next episode.